Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. The fight ended up going the whole 8 rounds, and Jake Paul won the fight by unanimous decision. Now, I thought it was arguably a close fight leading up to the eighth and final round. I had it 4 rounds to 3 in favor of Jake Paul. I thought Jake Paul. There were moments where Anderson Silva I felt like was just moving a little bit too much and wasn't letting his hands go, and Jake Paul was able to catch him with some good shots. But there were moments where there were rounds where Silva was putting in the work on Jake Paul, landing some good clean punches, and was making Jake Paul miss. But eventually, in the eighth and final round, Jake Paul was able to finally land a big right hand. Not the biggest right hand, but both of them were exchanging. Anderson Silva was super aggressive going out in the eighth, and he squared up and got caught clean on the chin, and he got dropped. And the judges ended up having it all for Jake Paul. Here were the judges' scorecards. One judge had it 78-73. One judge had it 77-74. The other judge had it 78-73. I had it 77-74. Like I said, I gave 3 rounds to Anderson Silva. That eighth and final round with the knockdown, it was Jake Paul pretty much sealing the win. Getting that win, getting that knockdown solidified his win, and he ended up getting the decision. So with this win, Jake Paul improves to 6-0. BoxRec has yet to update it. I don't know why they haven't updated it yet, because the fight took place hours ago. But yeah, he's now 6-0 as a professional boxer, giving Anderson Silva his second loss in his professional boxing career. Anderson looked good, honestly. I mean, for somebody his age, he looked good. I thought he looked good. I mean, he was there. He had really good moments. He was moving around, picking his shots pretty well. I guess he just couldn't keep up the punch output, and got a little too aggressive. There was a moment too where he got a little too careless. But it's Anderson Silva for you. But he got knocked down, and like I said, that was pretty much the dagger of Jake Paul winning this fight. Him knocking down Silva. Silva at his age, who knows if he'll still continue boxing. I wouldn't mind seeing him boxing again. He mentioned that he has a jiu-jitsu tournament to go to, so I guess he'll go do that, and I guess he'll decide after that what he'll do. I'm sure there's probably some other people out there that will offer Anderson Silva to fight as a boxer. I mean, he was offered to fight in the undercard of the Mayweather versus Don Moore exhibition over in the Middle East. Who knows? Maybe some of those Middle East promoters might ask Anderson Silva to fight in the undercard of another big event, or maybe even undercard of Jake Paul. You never know in the future. But what's next for Jake Paul? That's the big question. Everybody wants to see him lose. Everybody wants to see him fight a real fighter, a quote-unquote real boxer. There's talks of him again against Tommy Fury. Honestly, I'm not too intrigued about right now. Jake Paul, just doing what he's doing right now, it's entertaining. Him fighting guys like Woodley, Silva, Ben Askren, Nate Robinson, Anderson Gibb. It's pretty entertaining. Obviously, there's also KSI, who, in my opinion, right now, I think Jake Paul is just way too ahead compared to KSI. I don't know if KSI can beat Jake Paul or make it competitive, honestly. But when it comes to Jake Paul, what I want to see is entertaining fights. I want to see entertaining fights. I think he's good for boxing. He brings in some good names. I mean, not some good names, but some new eyes to the sport of boxing. And he put some boxers in his undercard. And, like H2O, the co-feature, the 18-year-old. Like, a lot of people didn't know about him until probably tonight. And before that, in the previous Woodley fight, in the Woodley rematch, what's his name? Liam Paro was in the undercard, and not many people knew who he was. And after he fought in the Jake Paul card, a lot more people knew about him, and he was signed by Matchroom. And before that, there was Montana Love, who fought in the undercard of the first Jake Paul versus Woodley fight, and not many people knew who Montana Love was before that fight. And after he fought in the undercard of Jake Paul, a lot more people knew about him. His popularity rise, and he was signed by Matchroom as well, and he'll be fighting his own main event in a couple weeks. So you may not like Jake Paul, but he really does bring more eyes to the sport, and he actually helps actual fighters by putting their name out there by fighting in his undercard. So I honestly don't see what's so bad about Jake Paul. Honestly. Anyway, what's next for Jake Paul? Like I said, I want to see entertaining fights. Tommy Fury fight. I just don't. I don't see why people like Tommy Fury. I think he beats Tommy Fury, honestly. The KSI fight is not bad too. There's somebody that he called out after the fight. This man right here, Nate Diaz. He was at the event. His buddy, Chris Avila, fought Dr. Mike in the undercard. Apparently, Nate Diaz got kicked out of the stadium because he slapped somebody in Jake Paul's team. He tried to go to their locker room and cause some shit. And yeah, there's a very good chance it might be Nate Diaz. And I say, why not? Why not Nate Diaz? I say, go for it. Make it happen. Is that Eli Setback right there? ES News reporting. Eli Setback right there, over there, in that right. But yeah, I'd love to see Jake Paul fight Nate Diaz. Honestly, I don't mind. A lot of people will say, "Oh, he's fighting another MMA fighter. He's not. When is he gonna fight a real boxer? This and that." Look, Jake Paul ain't a boxer to begin with. The dude's a YouTuber. He called out Nate Diaz and Canelo. Honestly, I'd love to see him fight Canelo one day, man. That's probably the day that Jake Paul will finally lose, man. And that's probably the day he'll finally fight an actual real boxer against Saul Canelo Alvarez. And that will sell millions. Honestly, that will sell millions. A lot of people will tune in to watch that. That's a big fight. That's a big, massive fight. Canelo versus Jake Paul. So, anyway, I don't mind seeing him fight Nate Diaz. I'd love to see it. I think it will be an entertaining fight. Nate Diaz says he wants to go into boxing, so why not against Jake Paul? It will definitely earn him probably the biggest paycheck he's ever had in his professional career as an MMA fighter fighting in the sport of boxing. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. What did you guys think about the Silva versus Paul fight? I'm seeing a lot of people saying it was rigged, it was fixed, it was this and that. I don't know, man. Some people just don't like Jake Paul. A lot of people hate Jake Paul. A lot of people hate him. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did you guys think about the fight? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And like always, have a great day. All right, thanks.